All right, everybody. So we're actually live here. So the biggest thing that I'm doing right now is dealing with price strategy, and I'm gonna have to shut the music down. Okay, so I'm reading No BS Price Strategy, the ultimate no hold bar, kick butt, no take no prisoner guide to profits, power, and prosperity by Dan Kennedy and Jason Bars. Jason Bars. What I just saw is a situation where Dan Kennedy told a group of their private coaching that they would buy whatever price strategy they thought that was right. He demonstrated that he could have gotten a lot more from that, and these people end up doing it, and it worked. And for me, the biggest thing I've been dealing with is that I've been thinking about running like a lead generation price that's very low, and to actually do the upsell by the time we get to the next level. What's what doesn't feel right is that I would be going through thousands of people a month. Money would come in, but I already see the possible detrimental to my health. To train somebody to do what I do would be, it would take time, especially the way I would do it. And even if I were to get my mom involved, she would have to adapt to my system, which sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So I am going to take the time to read this entire document. And it's exactly 2:34 right now. And I'm going to do my best with your help to finish this book in 2 hours. So I'm planning on going to sleep at 4:32. So let's begin. I already started the page, so I'm not going to go back. If it's necessary, I'll do that. And to get myself accountable, I plan on, I gotta whisper, that's the thing. Well, like whispering, but that's basically what's gonna have to happen. And I'm gonna put a timer. So the timer is gonna say 2 hours. I'm giving myself 1 minute to get settled. All right, here goes the timer. Okay. Let me see if I could go back. Yeah. No point going back right now. I already got it. Okay. One such demonstration belonged to my co-author Jason Mars, who has a personal price strategy story that is, in many respects, much more remarkable than the one I just shared. Jason, as a marketing director for his wife large, thriving multi-therapies professional practice in the field of education and therapy for children, competes with free services with very aggressively promoted by government agencies and in partnership with public school system teachers and counselors, as well with solo therapists, private practice, charging fees a fraction of his wife's. Jason has built an extraordinary, enviable, profitable business with price strategy, boldly defiant of a plethora of government imposed obstacles and cheapest price competition. His success in this difficult environment has not gone unnoticed. Others in his field and many others outside the medical profession began asking him for his secrets, knocking on his door for consulting. And today, Jason is one of the foremost advisor coaches for small businesses, medium-sized companies, entrepreneur, and professional on price strategy. After all, if you want certain survival on a camping trip, who better to recruit as your guide than a battle-scarred but successful survivor of journey through the most dangerous jungles on earth, in this case, the land of free. Today, Jason and I have a mission to liberating you from all fears and timidity towards price, and of empowering you with both courage and price strategy competence and creativity so that you can substantially improve your business profitably and sustainably. To this, you need to bring as an open mind as you possibly can, an intellectual willingness to re-examine your every belief about price in your business and to adapt rather than to resist proven profit strategy drawn from outside the narrow confine of your particular industry and your experience in it thus so far. Today must be a new day, not a stubborn reliving of the ones before. Each chapter is identified as written by Jason or me. An offer of additional resources from Jason appears on page 233. One from me on page 234. You need not wait until you complete this book to take advantage of these opportunities. The opinion expressed in this book are those of the authors, not necessarily those of the publisher. Some of these opinions are exaggerated in order to make a point, be provocative or humorous. The book is intended for people with a sense of humor. One of the authors' belief is if you don't offend somebody by noon each day, you aren't saying or doing much. We have made sure to exceed quotas here. If you are easily offended and do not have a sense of humor, you probably should not read this book. For many who is gender or politically correctness sensitive to head off letters, the authors have predominantly used he, him, etc. through the book, with only occasional exception, rather than awkwardly saying he or she, him or her. They do not mean this as a slight to women, only a convenience. They are not getting paid by the word. This publication is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regards to the subject matter covered, while every effort has been made to ensure factual accuracy. No warranties concerning such act are made. This book is published in general information and entertainment purpose only. It is sold with the understanding that the publisher is not engaged in rendering legal, accounting, or professional services. If legal advice or other experts' assistance is required, the services of a competent professional person should be sought. Price laws and regulation are complex and tricky, and meddlers in your price strategy include the Federal Trade Commission, your state and even local government, and possibly federal or state regulatory agencies specific to your industry or profession. The authors are not lawyers, thankfully, or expert in legal matters, nor in this book is this book intended to substitute for legal advice of any kind. We accept no responsibility or liability of any kind. Nor does the publisher or any source cited in the book for whatever decision we make as a result of something you've read here. You can secure price law information from www.ftc.gov, but again, Other regulatory bodies may have something to say about price strategy in your field. Throughout the book, you will encounter references to Glazer Kennedy Inside Circle, an international membership organization comprised of entrepreneur, business owners, sales professionals, self-employed professionals with a strong common interest in marketing business development with an emphasis with maximum profit. Members have access to several different monthly newsletters, teleseminar, Q&A, teleconference with me and other experts, online courses, 2 conventions each year. The kind of mastermind groups mentioned in this introduction at the national level in the United States as well as local levels in over 100 cities where there are Glazer Kennedy Inside Circle local chapters. Refer to page 234 for more information. About the authors. Jason Mars is an intense innovator in price, marketing strategist, coaching entrepreneurs and professionals to overcome price reluctance and resistance, to stop leaving untold sums of money on the table, and to finally get paid all they are worth so they can have the freedom and security to enjoy the important things in life. He is also in the trench entrepreneur with successful business interests in healthcare, education, publishing, and consulting. Learning from champions of business reveals purpose. He is unapologetic about putting his wife and 2 children before all these, and living proof that business success and a happy home life can coexist. Jason rarely takes a new private client, but does occasionally accept those he finds interesting. Inquiries should include information about industry, professional issues, interests, and compelling message. Email to Jason. Attention to Jason at strategicpricingcenter.com. For more information, can be obtained at simplepricingsystem.com. Dan Kennedy, a multi-millionaire serial entrepreneur with past, present interest in diverse business and a strategic advisor, market consultant, and coach with a pad of private client ranging from exceptional ambition entrepreneur to the CEOs of companies of as large as 1.5 billion, one of the highest paid direct response copywriter in the world, a popular professional speaker, seminar leader, and a prolific author. He is provocative, irreverent, and sarcastic, but most importantly, he's effective. He and his network of consultants. His office is in Arizona, and his home is in Ohio and Virginia. He races harness horses professionally and drives in about 200 races annually. His current third wife is also his second wife. His current third wife is also his second wife, and they share parenting of the $1 Million Dog. As a speaker, Dan appears repeatedly with countless celebrity entrepreneurs like Gene Simmons, Kiss, Joan Rivers, Donald Trump, Debbie Fields, Mrs. Fields Cooking, Jim Crane, broadcaster Larry King, and the late Paul Harvey, and America's leading success sales speaker, including Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins. With Zig, Dan appeared at more than 200 events with audiences from 10,000 to 25,000 strong. You can find information about his book, No BS Books, about membership, Glazer Kennedy Inside Circle, contribute, Okay, about guest contributors. Darren Spindler as marketing consultant, Dr. Barry A.S. Leica, MD, permanent physician, Killingbeck, popular speaker. Okay, these are the people. All right, let's get into this thing. Price and fee failures. There are many ways to fail at price strategy. Here is a short list. Pricing by textbook formula, industry norm, or other standard means. Excess concern about competitors' lower prices, attracting customers who buy by price. Predetermined belief system about what they'll pay. Permitting apples to apples comparison. Insufficient differentiation. Not offering premium price option. Ignorance or stupidity about business math. Poor self-esteem, business esteem, feeling not well deserving more. Okay. These and others are explored throughout the book. One of the most unpleasant discoveries to be made here has to do with your own thinking rather than with a specific price strategy. After all, what war strategy could be useful to a true conscientious objector opposed to killing for any reason, under any circumstances? That's a guy you do not want in your foxhole, watching your back. You don't want a conscientious objector to highest price and profits possible running a business for you either. Hopefully, it's not you. If you came to these pages, hopefully, hoping for this, for little tricks like whether to say 50% off, half off, or 2 for 1, you're in a disappointment. Hopefully, a change of heart. That sort of thing is tactics, not strategy. We are about something much bigger than that. This book is first and foremost about challenging all your preconceived present ideas about price. Most importantly, about the limits, the prices as you can successfully command. Second, based on the first, our objective is to have you alter your strategic approach to price, to view it within the context of marketing, not as a separate task tied to the price book, and calculator. Most business owners are failures at price strategy. To an extent, they are unaware that ignorance might be bliss, but it's very costly and hazardous to one's wealth. When I say they fail at price strategy, I mean that they fail to use price as a positive marketing tool and path the advantage. I also mean that they fail to create the greatest possible profit in their business. This is so tough. Okay, this is easy. The reason for these failures group into attitudinal and practical, into fear-based ideas and self-imposed limitation, and into marketing and selling mistakes. The most important thing to know going in is that your prices are your choice and your responsibility, even in a situation where most would believe price was imposed. Like Jason Business, where he and his wife compete as a premium price private provider against free services funded for consumers by the government. There is always opportunities for liberation and control by acceptance of responsibility. There's an old That very funny joke about two construction workers perch side by side on a higher gander at lunch. One opens his lunchbox and cries out his frustration and rage, spew curses, and says, "Damn, damn, damn. I can't stand these cheese sandwiches again. All I ever get is cheese sandwiches." The other guy say, "Why don't you ask your wife to make you something different?" Sadly, the first fellow mumbles, "I pack my own lunch." If you're self-employed, a business owner in professional practice, or a sales professional, you write your own paycheck. If you're not satisfied with it, you know who to complain to, but the amount of the paycheck is preordained. Long before its actual length, it begins with your price strategy, and that is preceded by your own belief system about price. That is likely affected by your belief system about money and wealth and success. Money and wealth and success. I hope you arrive here with an open mind, a creative spirit, and a sincere determination to write yourself out much bigger paycheck. Yes, I am determined for that. Now, the biggest problem I have, I always keep on saying the Haitian community is different, or my field is different, and these guys, they say there's no such thing as that. Be careful of arguments with or hasty rejection of anything you read here that is in conflict with your existing belief, but it's about pursuit of a bigger paycheck. You can't expect to stay married to this exact same thinking and belief about price, to the same strategy about price, but somehow magically see larger dollars in your paycheck. You will be tempted to argue and quickly reject what is presented here. The temptation is perfectly understandable, yet you must be alert for it, and then fight it with all your will. Force your mind to be open. Nothing else will do. The ultimate failure, other than going out of business entirely and slinking off into the sunset, tail beneath your legs, in search of hiding place, such as an ordinary job. The next worst failure is staying in business but still slinking about with tail beneath your legs, settling for table scrap level income when a king's feast type income was within reach. To be fair about this, there's a lot of people who own businesses who are there because of non-financial motivation. Typically, an interest in the work is the business and a distaste for having a boss. To these folks, adequate income is perfectly satisfactory. Maximum income of no interest. They can hoist the banner of mission accomplished and declare themselves successful as long as the bills are paid at the shop and at home. But a great many more settle for only adequate rather than exceptional income, in just making a living rather than developing wealth, because they believe it's all they can reasonably expect their business to provide. Doing so, they sell it and themselves very short. I know that is harsh, but if you have scaled back, downsized, and surrendered your original and early ambition to a lesser level of achievement, you live in failure. If you leave profit and other opportunity capable of fulfilling the original ambition lying right on the table in front of you, thanks to poor, uncorrected vision, or fear of timidity, or just about any other untreated but treatable handicap. Sorry, but you live in failure. I am devoted, dedicated, passionate champion of the independent business owner and entrepreneur of the sales warrior. Without us, it's all over. Almost any other occupational groups could take a few months off and the nation might survive. If we all slept for a week, collapse would be complete. But because we risk while others trade all for seeming safety, because we invest while others squander, because we innovate while others are complacent, because we work twice the hours and 10 times the intensity than the overwhelming majority who prefers 9 to 5, because we take on infinitely more responsibility. Because we get bruised and bloodied, knocked down, we get back up. In the game, just make us repay, we'll sleep us up, we'll share more taxes, and that's carrying the rest of the population on our shoulders because we create all the nice and valuable goods, serving experiences, value while others consume. We deserve the ultimate prosperity, which requires making our own business and business activities as profitable as it possibly be. Creating not only a set that might have been in our coffers somehow escape. You have both right and responsibility, but yet all the profits produce prosperity. You can squeeze from your business. You gotta drop this. This is not greed. Greed is defined in the dictionary as selfishness. There is profound difference between self-interest and selfishness. If you're unfamiliar with these distinctions or worse, inhibited by the misunderstanding, I urge you to read 3 books as quickly as you can. Novel, Atlas Shrugged, The Edward, the book Thou Shalt Prosper by Rabbi Lapin. And my own no BS wealth protection in your economy. I'm advocating to you the proper, appropriate, deserve, obtain of all that is for you to be deserved. I am advocating to you the proper, appropriate, deserve, obtain of all that is for you to be derived by fair exchange of value. Recognize the admittedly uncommon but demonstrable and demonstrated in his book facts that there can be value to the consumer in a merchant premium above par price if you live the ultimate failure of deriving less profit than possible from your providing goods. marketing services, you do not win a merit badge for reduction of grade by self-imposed restraint. There is no such merit badge, as the act is not merit. I lack the space and time here to even try to convince of this liberating, empowering philosophy. This is a book of mechanical, not philosophical instruction. That is what you bought, and that is what you are going to get. But the tools in the mail, in the toolbox, will be greatly diminished value without wholeheartedly embrace of capitalistic, self-interest based, guilt-free philosophy. About prosperity. So, again, I urge reading the above mentioned books in tandem with this one. So, I gotta get Atlas Shrugged, Thou Shalt Prosper by Thou Shalt Prosper by Rabbi Lapine, and No BS One Attraction. Then I gotta do that. Okay, in tandem with this one. The opposite of this ultimate failure is the ultimate success of the living your life expectancy exactly and entirely as you choose, facilitating by your business working for you, not you for it, as needed. And as part of that, manufacturing every possible profits. Okay. Yesterday, I sat down and prepared something just so eloquently, and I went back to my stuff to really do this. What I did, I said, why don't I have, and I'm going to design it here so that you guys can understand it. Why don't I have a lead generation, okay, $27, and I'm going to put another lead generation that I have for $270. Lead generation 1, lead generation 2. So lead generation 1, we call it a trial. I intend to complete that in less than 15 minutes, so I'm going to put less than 15 minutes. While the 270 is more than 15 minutes. Now the beauty about it is that, well, that also one comes with products. Okay, so here's my thought process. Lead generation. If I do the 27 and I do less than 15 minutes, I can see about 4 people. So when I do 4 times, when I do 4 times 27, it's only 108. Now here's the funny thing. You ready? It takes me 10 people at 27 to get me to the 270. So that's like an eternity. So I don't really like that lead generation. I would only like that lead generation, especially doing a test, that lead generation for me is like poison. I've used it before and I've had people who bought, but think about it. These are people that buys through pricing, but yet they have a challenge. So the problem is like when they have a challenge, but yet they had an emergency. In my field, people who come to me is not typically the people who wants to be proactive right now. Not to say there are people that's not proactive who are seeking help. I'm yet to do the. I was looking to do a sacrifice to do 1,000 people at 27, and I know when I make the calculation, although it would be, I would have to turn my mind inside out. When you do 1,000 people at 27, that's $27,000. 1,000 people, that's like crazy. But when you think about 27,000, that seems like a lot in a 22-day period. But here's where it becomes more than that. It's like 29,700. But here's where it becomes a little bit wacky. When there's 1,001, where it becomes wacky is that I gotta hope that those 1,100 people are gonna buy at least for either 197, which would bring in a revenue of 216,000. What's the likeliness of my getting $27 people who are just price related? These are price related. So I really designed this so that I could look at the price related. When I do the $27, I'm also gonna upsell them to three things. I'm gonna upsell them to number one, or let's say number three. Upsell them to a few different things. First thing I'm upselling them to is a $697 yearly program. Or the $327 yearly program. Now, this is a way to lock them in. Not everybody's going to take it, but I figure I would do that. Or I would upgrade them to the 270 plus products. Now, the 697, the beauty about it is that they would get products just for the first month. The 327, no, they won't get anything. It just covers them where they can pay only $27 per month on the testing. Now bear in mind that this thing is just like, it's ridiculous, but we're looking at volume. So here's why I look at, if the person goes with option 2, the 327, they still end up with a bill on the first month. If they go with the 697, at least they get an initial starter, then we can get with a different one. This one, when we do the 270, they already get certain products, but we still quote them what it is. My biggest thing is that what necessarily going to be the percentage? First of all, who do I need to make that 27 available? Because there's different thoughts. In Mike Crow group, when I was there in Dallas, they were mentioning something about, having a business that's fit for the 95 percenters. In this highly, they're saying that, hey, we're leaving a lot of money on the table. So I'm going to keep reading and see where this leads me, because I got it that it takes something to be able to know what your price strategy is and the reasoning behind it. Either or, the way I've been working right now, I could definitely use some extra ones. So when I was reading, the thing that came to mind is that on the radio, that would seem a little contrary. I don't want to be known that I'm cheaper, knowing that I've been expensive. Because the thought of them always have said I've been expensive, so I would rather run the $27 deal, have it be done through my existing people working with me. Not the existing people who are paying people, but I'm saying the existing people who have price issues. So make it on a case by case basis, as opposed to broadcasting it and be over flood and me end up not being good health to actually live out. So the biggest thing I've been working on is really putting together the Epiphany system, starting out with selling one to many. And that's the part I want to go with. So I want to sit down and really look at the patterns, the language pattern, and having a good one out, and then have the perception that I'm the most expensive guy. And my goal is on a monthly basis to close minimum, changing tens, to close 40 at 25K. That's basically $1 million a month. That's the acceptable amount. My aim is 300 at 25K. So the gap is I just have to see what's working with that and put myself in position to have this be played everywhere and set everywhere so that I can have more of that amount. So let's give you an example. 25,000 times 300. So monthly it would be 7 point 7 point, it would be 7.5 million. So we already automatically time it by 12. It becomes a crazy number. $75 million. Okay. Now, why all this? We have something that we're creating, and that thing is very important to us. So let me go to chapter 2. By Jason Mars. I wasn't raised like most kids, even from kids who grew up in my business and grew up in business like I did. My family had a different way of doing things. It is not surprising, though. My mother was not very far removed from tremendous wealth. To put it in perspective, my grandmother went to college in California during the Great Depression, considering that was a time before college was popular, that she was female, and that she came from rural New Mexico. It says a lot about my family financial resources. Our family was not highly motivated by advertising of a sale. A lesson that I was always taught was not to get overly excited about sale prices, because 9 times out of 10 you can always buy the item for that price. That has been a good lesson for me. I have found it to be the case. Sale prices are often nothing more than that statement of what you should repeatedly be paying for something. And that is the downside to discount. They can destroy price integrity with blinding speed. On the other hand, they can bring a stampede of buyers through the door faster. Just about anything else. It is no wonder discounts and I have such an uneasy relationship. On one hand, I hate them because they can be such a destructive force. On the other hand, I love them because they are such an effective way to drive sales. I think you should share my uneasy relationship with discounts, even if you don't share my childhood ingrained skepticism of them as a consumer. Most business owners use discount too casually and toughlessly, and too often because they like the positive effects and do not fully understand the negative effects. The thing to keep in mind is that offering discounts is a form of selling on price. When you offer a discount, you are taking the focus from the value you provide and placing it squarely on your price. There is no way to escape that. To maintain higher prices, you have to be adept at selling value. Discount erodes your ability to do that. And any reduction in prices can damage your price integrity. Later, getting the same customer to stop thinking about price and refocus on value and provide can prove difficult. Not only that, study shows that discounts actually reduce the effectiveness of whatever is being discounted. By that I mean that the discount offering literally does not perform as well as it did at full price. That sounds impossible, but double-blind studies using prescription drug and OTC health products, cosmetics, and other products have shown it to be true. A study conducted by a group of resort properties matched the most gloomy comments cards to the guests paying full price and nearly full price. The most critical comment cards to guests who had bought a deeply discounted rate and knew it. Part of the explanation for that is that the discounted rate drew a poor quality customer. That would not surprise me. In my healthcare business, I deliberately try to repel clients concerned with price and discounts. But it is also suggested that in the same way that people told they were taking a more expensive drug. Okay. I think that settles it. I don't think I need to be spending time in the sleeping. I'll just continue this. I'm gonna get like a little receipt to cover this because here's what I got. I don't need to be giving all the discounts that they're asking for, and especially when I'm giving it and it's not necessarily deserved. I'm giving away my money. I have to keep fighting to get the people to understand value. All right, thank you very much. I'm so happy I was able to do that. Cool.